The Chief Executive Officer, Republicom Group, Mr. Tunji Adeyinka, has traversed the nation's marketing communications landscape. In this interview with Rahim Akingbolu, he spoke about new trends in the marketing industry and vision of the Republicom Group. Excerpts: One of the most used words among business owners today is globalization. How relevant is it to marketing communications? There's no way we would talk about any sector without talking about globalization, because it is something that is clearly important to growth of individual or any organization. If one look at it from the consumer circuit, we see the way the media is influencing consumer preference. If you look at it from industry circuit, you will find out that there's a lot of consolidation happening on a global basis that is reflecting on the industry in Nigeria and other markets. Whether you are talking Africa or Asia, the impact of globalization will be very important. The latest move you see in Brexit and America for Americans are reactions by a certain set of demography who feel they have been left out of the development in those environments. And that reflected very well during the last election in the US. In a country like Nigeria, that is important because if you look at the total advertising market globally, you are talking about $2 trillion, and a very small part of that comes from Africa. If you look at Africa, for instance in 2015, it was in the region of about $0.25 billion, which is extremely small. If you look at Africa and you divide between Nigeria and South Africa, you would find a huge division in those numbers because of the marketing spend that is expended in those two markets. But globalization is reality. Media consumption, Google and Facebook, and how marketing budgets are shifting to those media companies. Marketing budget these days are not determined from where we sit. The consumers are here, but the platforms are global, and they continue to affect what we do in this space. Does cultural affiliation have any role to play in advertising? It's not just in advertising. Any kind of communication that is not dug into culture is not going to be relevant. Culture is a key pillar in communication, so no matter what you are talking about in a global point of view, you always need to localize your communication. That is why you have the term global. In the last few months, you and other members of your team have been pushing the Republicom brand beautifully in Nigeria. Is this the right time for the group to explore the market? There's an African proverb that says that whenever you wake up is your morning. The challenge you see in marketing communications today is that clients are trying to consolidate their entire spend because the days of having 10 different agencies working for one client are gradually going. Another thing is the area of efficiency of that process. An average brand owner today will wake up and consider having a team that covers the entire 360-degree domain where he or she will have to brief each person. And to achieve that, such client will think of having an agency with organizational structure. He simply needs a DNA that is linked together.